Has there anything that you refuse to eat?
No.
Have you ever had an adverse reaction to anything you've ever eaten?
Many. And I have refused something. I'm just remembering twice I was in a slum in Delhi, and we were eating street food, and there was a brown sludgy water coming out of a spigot in the wall on the street, and someone served me something with a few tablespoons of that water. They served these traditional little chop, these crispy snacks, and then they drizzle water on it to loosen it, and I knew it was going to be a trip to the hospital, so I passed on that. And I passed once on some moldy chicken intestines that I just thought was another trip to the hospital. Those are the only two things I've ever refused to eat. What was the next question?
If you ever had any adverse reactions to anything you've eaten?
Oh, yeah. I had some bad cumin on a first trip to Morocco, and I got a virus from it. And other than a couple of bouts of nausea at night from some bad mussels on a family visit to Portland, Maine, those are the only two times I've gotten sick on food in the last 6-7 years.
And since you've traveled so much, I was wondering, is there any type of ethnic food served in the U.S. that's really different than the way it's served in its native country?
Wow. Well, tons of it. Every ethnic food community here has had cuisine that has been altered to suit certain tastes. I'll give you an interesting example, and you'll see what I mean. In the 1870s, some of the best Italian food in the world was found in St. Paul, Minnesota, because there were so many Italian immigrants coming straight from the eastern cities, getting on trains, coming out to America, to the heartland, and staying there to work in the lumber industry and wood making and furniture making, things like that. About 15 years later, they stopped emigrating out there, and Scandinavians took over. So at that point, you had these Italian immigrants who had opened restaurants that instead of cooking for waves of Italians, they were cooking for Lutheran Swedes. So the Italian food stopped being very good. You see that everywhere, everywhere. However, in America, the opposite is also true. Because we have so many wonderful, for example, Mexican and Central American communities here. If you're looking for, a great taqueria, great mofongo, great, cazuelas of braised pork, with chilies from Colombia. I mean, you go on and on. You can find the best examples of it here. And in fact, there are many people who argue, and rightfully so, that when it comes to certain dishes, because of the quality of our ingredients here, that in certain Chinese or Thai restaurants, for example, the average quality in great Chinese restaurants here in America may be tastier than great Chinese restaurants in China because of the provenance and quality of the ingredients. It's a fascinating argument to make, and it's something that people like me debate over dinner tables all the time. But it does really flip-flop both ways in terms of quality and quantity, and what's dumbed down, and what's a good example of ethnic cuisine. I mean, look, there's bad food in Paris. I mean, there's bad food in Rome. Less of it than there is, in Pittsburgh, but it happens.
All right, great. Well, thanks for your time, Andrew. I appreciate it.
Thank you.